Okay. Hey, NPR, what's up? Actually, hang on, hold that thought. Discord's not even set to go through this. The stream won't even hear you. I don't even hear you, actually. Hang on, I gotta fix all my settings. Hello? Okay, I can hear you. The stream can't hear you. Give me 1 second.
Hey, does stream really need to hear me?
Just me talking to myself, waiting for pauses.
To the voices in the head.
Okay, stream. Is he too loud? Is this good?
Testing, testing. Should be okay. I can turn myself down if needed.
No, it's okay. I can control your volume too on the stream and everything. Okay.
I have invited you in game for the lobby. Unless you have like invites disabled.
Maybe I didn't see it. I might have it disabled. Is there a lobby password and all that I can just put in? I can like block my screen while I do that.
Let me check that.
If not, maybe you can send me like a friend code and I can add you and join that way.
Yeah, let me just find the friend code. How do you add friends?
He's louder than me. Okay, I can turn him down a little bit more. For Dota, go to like the little plus thing next to like search friends.
Oh yeah.
And then
Yeah,
your
there
own
it
friend
is.
ID is there.
I'll send it on Discord.
Okay. Oh yeah, guys, look, we have a HUD. I've been given a HUD for this. I'll pop it up later. This is the wrong copy paste. This is just me.
Wait, shit. Oh, sorry. Wait.
That's okay.
That's my. I have no idea how I did that.
You guys
I
can
guess you
find
have.
me anyways. My ID doesn't matter. You can end up on this list right here.
Okay. Yeah,
All right, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Here, I'll add you and you can have me join the lobby or something.
Yeah, I'll just like invite because I think it's easier to. Yeah. Let me cancel it and invite again.
Do you want me to hide the lobby? I can put the screen down for a second.
No, I don't think so. Because I think people know the password. Like, I don't think the password will be like clearly visible.
Okay.
Just for like, can you disable like mid rolls and maybe put like pre rolls in
Oh, the
for the
ad?
ad?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
if you
Let
can do
me.
that.
No, I'm just gonna take them off for this.
I mean, it's okay if it's like pre rolls.
Yeah, I can like manually do it between if we want.
Okay.
It's not a big deal for a day. It's been a while since I did this. Hold on, let me. Where is this? I think here. Okay. Think that should turn it off. Yeah. Okay. I don't see it anymore. Okay.
We should be in the lobby, right?
I don't see it, but you can. If you're in the lobby, there's this button down here. You can actually use
Wait,
that to like
I'm not looking.
down by like not in post game. Don't do that one. In party, like this
Yes.
button over here can
Wait,
be
let me
like
open the stream.
share whatever, but you can also use it to like join my lobby, and then I can click that. Very unknown feature
Oh,
besides
ready for check?
to the right of that one. To the right of that one. Just click it, and it
Oh,
should give you a couple options. And if
yeah.
you're in a lobby,
Oh
one of
shit.
them should
Oh yeah,
be
sorry.
join
Yeah.
lobby or like you can invite to join lobby.
That
Yeah.
is.
Almost no one ever needs to use that feature.
Yeah, I've never seen that. Like the only people I see spamming that are like bots in like channels.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I've turned you into bot. Now you know. Now you know how to do it.
um. Oh, before I forget, can you go into settings, audio, and go mute co-broadcasters,
Yeah, I
and
got that
then
one.
go
You want the open mic?
open mic team?
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I forget to do
I
this
think
one all the time. Guys, when you're
yeah, yeah,
casting, you need to have this stuff on, and I forget to turn this
yeah.
one all the time.
We are well versed into that because yeah, we are just there are like several instances where like there was no voice in game. But yeah, welcome to the International, or GTI for short. Um, this is just something like our community does. Uh, this is the third one. In the first one, we had, I believe, 12 teams. I won that one.
Oh, let's
Um,
go. We have a former champion casting with
in
us.
in the second one, we had 18 teams. I won that as well. So
Let's go.
so yeah, I didn't like feel going for a three-peat. I
You could
was
have been
like,
the first. You could have set
I
your
mean,
legacy.
yeah, I have the first like in basically everything. So, but yeah, it's basically just like we usually have in-houses every Tuesday. There we have like 3 games, but this is just like a more formal thing, like a tournament style thing.
Hmm.
And in the end, whoever wins, they just pick a charity, and that like everyone just donates to the charity.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's a really like nice thing to do. Last year it was like a lot of games. It was like really kind of stressful
Hmm.
at times, but yeah, this time it is more chill because we have the actual TI format of 4 teams, so 4 groups, so it's a bit more spread out. I should probably mention the teams, right?
Yeah,
Um,
shoot, go for it.
well, I kind of don't know like a lot of these people because we every year we get like an influx of new people because oh, are we ready? I think we are ready, right?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Yeah, we should be ready. We have like an influx of new people, so I think a lot of these people joined after last year's GTI. But yeah, we have this is between Granny's Cookies and Team Sitout, a group stage game.
To set the stage, what's the like MMR range for everyone?
The highest, the MMR cap for a single person is Ancient 3, and the average MMR of a team is, I believe, Archon 5. So it's not good Dota.
It's above average Dota.
It is above
Just
average
above.
Dota. Yeah, it's just like there. But I like a lot of people get better playing in these tournaments
Hmm.
because it's like a competitive environment, and you just like strive to be better, and you strive to learn so you can beat everyone.
Oh wait, so you guys mentioned you're gonna try and do like VOD stuff. Do you want me to record it and then like, is that easier, or you guys, how are you guys gonna do this? What do you need from me?
No, I mean, if I think someone will just download the VOD and will just like cut the GTI things
Okay.
and we'll just upload it. You don't need to do anything, I think.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Here, I'll get rid of my camera for the actual casting.
We have kind of missed the coin flip. I didn't see who picked what.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, so interesting. Oh, actually, no. Yeah, yeah. This is standard. Like, someone gets Radiant and someone gets first pick, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is a good banner. This is a good banner because this is best of two. Whoever won coin flip should pick, and then it should swap priority
Yeah,
next
yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah. Because yeah, I feel like first pick is good because of the last pick in the second phase, and Radiant is just somehow good. Like, I don't have any reasoning for Radiant to be good, to be honest.
Yeah, I these kind of drafts are always fun to me just because
10 seconds to go.
you
They're
like,
so random.
yeah, you can know the pro meta and all of that, but the reality of like anything out of that, like until you reach like mid immortal team stuff, it's mostly just like ban pick comfort things and somewhat follow either the meta or at least some kind of game plan. Which how many do these teams actually like practice together, or is it like they just came together for this tournament?
A lot of these players like would have played in the in-houses or just like together.
Okay.
But most of the time it's not like a full 5 stack across the whole year. So it's just like, okay, do you want to play in a team with us? Okay, sure, and you just like make teams.
Mm-hmm. See,
But like,
we got the classics Warlock and Undying banned out.
no, but let's do. Warlock is underrated, I believe. Like he pumps out damage in pub games. In pro games, not really.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good for this kind of in-house, I think. The Luna insta pick into Wyvern. See, like
Yeah.
Wyvern's a hero I would never expect to see at the professional setting.
Yeah.
I would Luna first pick could be like a very meta like mind game thing, but Wyvern first is pretty rare.
Yeah, Luna is just like too strong, even in the like lower brackets.
5 seconds.
Like I don't know what even counters. I guess Drow could counter it, but it's just like inconsistent.
Yeah, at like a pro scene, you'd see a lot of like morphlings, I would say. Some other stuff you could try to go for, but I'd say morphling is maybe one of the more popular ones. But that's a hero. It's funny, like everyone can play morphling. Like every carry player can play morphling once you get to like mid immortal and up. But below that, it's actually quite rare. I feel like a lot of people do not play morphling. So I'd be amazed to see it here.
I don't think I have a single Morphling game in my life.
See, I don't think I have a single morphling. Oh, until it just became a support. Then I finally got
Oh,
a
yeah,
morphling
oh
win.
my god,
Then I got a morphling win.
those were the fucking dark days. I was Morphling +4. That was something else. But yeah, the I guess Faceless Void could counter Luna with the
10
Chrono, but
seconds
it's
to
still
go.
like I don't know. Luna just farms
5
so fast.
seconds.
Yeah, she's really good right now and just like really stable. I'm not as I guess, well, I don't know how much these players like watch the pro scene and all that, but the good thing about picking Luna is that if you do watch the pro scene, you have a rough idea of her strengths compared to like honestly for this setting, like I wouldn't worry about Luna being the most meta versus picking an unmeta hero so long as you know what you're doing. But if you don't know what you're doing and you don't have professional games to like kind of showcase you a good build and all that, then that's where like still following the meta, even if you can't follow its strengths as well, works out. Which like no flame to anyone. This is all fun and educational. But one of the biggest strengths to Luna at the pro scene is that like she has such a good laning stage, and then she has such consistent early game tempo, as well as like having solid late game. But in these kind of like even in Archon, which is like above average, a lot of people still struggle to one play the lanes as they're supposed to, and then two hit in early timing, which means you can go for heroes like Spectre or something like that, which is way less common, and then it like you don't struggle as much versus the Luna as a pro scene like pro team would.
Yeah, I mean, in these lower games, even if it's like a stomp per se, you can still go to like 40, 45 minutes. Like you can drag it out. It's very hard to finish games at this lower level.
Okay, we got a Lich. I mean, we got a blue draft right here. Whoever picks a non-blue hero first is the loser, I'd say.
Ooh, is Winter Wyvern blue? What a green it, right?
Oh, look! They're maintaining it. It's now,
Yeah.
the pressure's on Granny's cookies.
I actually believe this is a +3 Venge. I think I've seen them run it before.
I'd be up for that. They've got a cool, like, there's some cool synergy here. Luna and Venge is a classic. Though, if you do run Venge off lane, she's really not a, like, this goes back to me talking about, like, oh, the offlaner builds a couple auras, one from a support. We hit this, like, 20-minute timing. Venge isn't really doing that. She's like rushing the Aghanims. But it can still be good, especially in these kind of games. I just want to know what next blue hero they're gonna go for.
I feel like the main weakness of Venge is like the slow farming. You don't have any like consistent wave clear. You just need, and if you lose like the first 10 or 15 minutes, you're just so behind and you just can't really play the game.
As a core, it's not as bad because of the Wave of Terror plus attack speed, but as a support, it does struggle. Okay, Granny's Cookies, I'm sorry. That's not blue. It's at least it's a cool color though. Green, we're still on that cool spectrum, but I think they're out. I think that's it.
To be honest, I can see Underlord
10
countering
seconds
Luna
to
in the
go.
lane.
It helps.
5 seconds.
I would say Luna's usually still fine here just because the magic damage nuke and you're still a ranged hero, so you can stay out of Firestorm better than a melee hero. But depending on like this is where there's a range of Archon, but like Team Sitout's worst player could be their carry Luna, and the best player on Granny's Cookies could be the Underlord. I don't know. I don't know these players, but like in situations like that, like yeah, then it could still be fine. Like even though technically she's supposed to be okay.
And this is like where first pick is so good because you see so much of the draft of the enemy. You can just like pick up the perfect hero
10
here and
seconds to
protect it
go.
with 2 bans or at least 1 ban.
5 seconds.
Yeah, they Sitout needs a playmaker.
Man.
Actually, both teams really do. Okay, Slardar works.
Yeah.
They have some nice negative synergy here. I'm guessing it's going to be like Slardar Venge and then Lich
Yeah.
Luna. These are strong lanes, which I like. Their Slardar versus Spectre matchup should be very good. And I guess you could run Ogre 5. I don't know, like Wyvern and Ogre could swap lanes.
5 seconds.
Ogre lost a lot of armor. He used to be much higher.
Yeah.
I don't know. That looks like a very tough lane.
I have a feeling this could be a Winter Wyvern mid. I've just seen some profiles.
I'd be up for that. In that case, you need your last pick, whether it's 5 or 4, and I hope it's the 4 in that case. Otherwise, if you're running support Wyvern and you're picking a mid hero here, you need a playmaker. Like otherwise, Underlord and Spectre have nowhere to ult to, which is actually a weakness to picking Ogre and Wyvern earlier if you knew you want to do this. Again, I'm not too worried in like a like more casual in-house, but strategically, if they do find their game awkward and they're looking back on it, it's because if you're going to go Underlord or Spectre, and then especially if you're going both, then the other 3 heroes all want to be able to make plays on their own, which Wyvern ult, like, maybe you can, but that's kind of long cooldown.
5 seconds.
Yeah, the issue with these like global lineups is sometimes they get too global, and then you're just like one guy sitting on the one side, but the other guy sitting on the other side, and like there's no movement. There's just everyone is waiting for the other one to do something.
Yeah, and I think Sitout right now, like these 3 heroes, Lich, Venge, and Slardar, would be happy to play together. I want to see Slardar go like Blink first, I think. Or you could get something else, but Blink should be pretty early in the build. And then Luna is like farming. And if you could pick another mid hero who just makes plays, like I'm not even going to worry about listing out specific heroes, but just any playmaking mid hero would allow you to like bring the pressure to the Spectre and the Underlord. And because you go first, like they can try to ult in to respond to this kind of stuff, but you're always going to be a step behind. So that's not quite what I had in mind.
It's not really. That's very interesting.
I kind of
playmaker.
wait. I see what they're going for here. If Granny's Cookies now picks a blue hero, then we're back. We're 3 blue heroes, 1 green, 1 purple. I'm starting to see. I'm seeing the game plan here.
It's all color coded. It's all rigged.
You could go. I'm trying to think. Wyvern mid sounds okay. Storm is a good blue playmaker, but I don't think Storm has a good time versus Necrophos.
Or like a puck. The puck is not banned, right?
I'd be up for Puck. I think the
Ooh.
physical damage is a little scary, but
Yeah.
if the Puck is good, Puck could dodge quite a lot.
Assume they're like not really good.
Well, there'd be misplays on both sides though. So
yeah, that's definitely true. But yeah, they don't really have any hard disable on Dire for the puck.
I'm up for Puck. Any other playmaker is good too.
Take
Okay, this
aim.
is a +4 Sky guy. Yeah. Okay, it's a Midwinter Wyvern.
I was gonna say I don't even know. I don't know the player
Yeah.
names to like where they go. So you could tell
Yeah.
me this is Underlord support, and I'd be like, okay, if you say so.
Yeah. Oh, that's an ugly event set.
Oh yeah, that's bad. That's a
Ooh.
bad sign.
Oh, that's an ugly event set. Wow.
Okay.
The other sets make up for it, yeah, but the Venge is yeah, it's criminal. Also, a Naked Spectre.
Maybe part of the prize should be like some sets to the.
Ooh, it's
That's
actually a +5 Skyrat Mage. If they don't swap the lanes.
They might. A lot of support players can do both, so maybe they'd move around. Um, so if I was to just assume this would play out how I would think, then I would say, even though I didn't love the idea of the Necrophos, I still think Sitout's lanes are much better, and that I think Granny's Cookies would struggle to find plays against a team that like knew how to deal with this. I don't know if like the Underlord ult, the Spectre ult would ever get to go in. Skywrath ult would have a hard time. Like the one stun is Ogre ult. The other one is like Wyvern ult, which you'd like not do anything. And then like the Pit is like sure. But they
Oh
actually
wow,
have
yeah.
swap to counter that as well. So typically I would say like this game should be much easier for Sitout to play. But then this is where the chaos of Archon comes in. Who knows?
I think Team Sitout's draft is just easier to execute. Like you just have a plan. You blink in, you stun, you like do damage. While Granny's Cookies draft is more
Everybody
like
get set.
you are more waiting for the enemy to make mistakes than for you to do the good thing.
Okay, question. So you gave me this HUD that someone made.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to shrink my mini
I've
map
always
size
wanted to
because
be a
actually this
giant
was made for the
spacecraft.
small mini map. Is there
Oh.
any meaning behind this? You got any like explanation behind what we've got on this HUD?
Let I kind of forgot what the HUD looked like. Let me
There's a
just check.
goose. Start with a goose, maybe.
Goose. I don't remember the origin of it, but if you look at the Discord, every role is like Goose related role,
I
like
love
Goose
geese.
Knight, Goose Soldier.
Nice, nice. Okay.
The words is a word sausage, and the top right.
What is
That's
a
when
ward sausage? You can't just say that. And
I'm
that
explaining.
explains.
I'm explaining. A word sausage is when like players put two words so close together that you can draw on the minimap like a sausage between them. Like
Okay, I like that. I like that.
on the top left, it's just an egg because we call Pyrian like egg because it's bald and just like eggs. And
That's an inside joke, guys. You can't just come in and call them bald. It's like a community thing, you know. It's like it's okay to some jokes are okay when it's like from friends.
yeah,
Don't just go over and you do that.
and oh yeah, if you go like to his channel and call him bald, you can get banned if you're not a sub or something. Like it's very much an inside thing. And the Rubik one is just random. Like it's some random meme. The our guy who makes like art for us, it's just like a random meme he added. But yeah, the other three things are like related to the community.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking around. So something going the way of Granny's Cookies is that if Underlord does build like auras and then they just go together and Sitout does not, that is where like they have an advantage because Slardar doesn't really want to build auras, and then Venge and Lich are pretty slow. See what Lich or Necro ends up building. But Underlord, if Underlord went Pipe first, I'd say Pipe is really good this game. Pipe and Greaves maybe.
Yeah. Because like the pipe could be good for the Luna ulti, right? because it's magical. And also if the Necro builds a Radiance, I think a Radiance is still magical.
Yeah, and also just like the Lich, all of Lich's stuff is also magic.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
the
of course.
pipe would be solid, and then yeah, like the armor versus like Venge Slardar would be good. Alright, let's see how they do down here. Because Slardar and Venge should be okay versus Spectre. The Ogre has to be extra annoying. See, he's starting to run out of mana. So we'll see like once that ends, that's where things can get kind of rough. Right now they're already in a good spot.
How would you rate the ward place?
This one?
Oh, actually, there was a ward top, but it was devoured by a random sentry ward.
Rip. Well, those are my thoughts on that. You've heard me say before. You got to avoid the. I'm gonna assume like one in this area. You got to avoid that.
Yeah, it was top for Dire actually, and the sentry got it.
Yeah, you gotta be very
was, like,
careful
behind the
about
lane.
putting it near any of the camps that get blocked. Mid doing.
Oh, we have the coach of Team Sitout, I believe, in chat.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, and two.
Ah, why'd you break away from the blue heroes? You were at 3. Gonna have to rethink the color strat. Yeah, this is kind of what I would expect. Like, the lane comes back and you just struggle. And earlier this camp got blocked. As Ogre, you would want to identify this earlier. Like, this is a bad matchup. Need to keep the equilibrium in a good spot. So you got to buy enough sentries to make sure, like, this is opened up. And now, like, the lane will just stay here. And on paper, Slardar should win this, like, really hard. We'll see, like, the actual execution from the players. But, like, Slardar's already got 4 last hits over her. And he also has, like, 6 more to potentially get here. TVD last hits under tower. Go, Slardar, go. We're judging. He's doing pretty well.
I think a good advice is for every support player, like either 4 or 5, is to buy a sentry with the starting, or not a starting code, the bounty gold, and just to ship it out, because like you will probably need it to reward.
Bash. Bash.
Look at this man fight. This is art from Dota. This I love this. just 3 people hitting each other. This is
Just bashing away.
this is so good.
Yeah, this is where I'm not sure on the Slardar build nowadays, but I don't know if you take Guardian Sprint so soon. I think you get like more points in these to fight, and then you get this later. But I'm actually not fully sure because it's been a little bit since I've seen Slardar.
I think maybe it's because he took leg day as facet, so you kind of need a sprint at least 1 level.
I guess that's
to
true.
make it
Yeah. Yeah, you also get the HP regen, I think. Is that one tied to... No, that one's just the innate now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not innate.
Okay, so you don't need that
I
one.
believe so. Is leg day good this game? I guess it is because
What's his other one? The Brine Guard?
yeah, they have like if you like, I think like you steal a percentage of the armor. They do have a lot of slows.
Yeah,
That's for
I guess
sure.
it's good versus that. And he does just have to like run at people until he gets a blink. I guess he doesn't need to steal a bunch of armor because they don't do like tons of physical damage on the side of the Radiant anyway, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, but more armor is always better, right? You can't have like too much armor.
You can if you don't need it too much. It doesn't hurt, but I don't know. I can see the slow resistance mattering. You want to stay on top of your targets to make sure you're like stunning and bashing them.
Yeah.
So.
I believe last year I played like 18 games total in GTI, and I think I played like 12 Slardar games.
Slardar master here.
Yeah, I'm not good, but it's just I like the hero because I don't like to commit. I just like to like blink in, stun, click, and move out.
Probably like 6 years ago or something when I was doing some more like team stuff. Actually, I guess more than that, but I felt Slardar was one of those broken heroes who could always get something. Bottom fight going on. I think Ogre might die here. Yeah, the negative armor is coming into play. Spectre. I think you gotta run, Spectre. You're dead.
I don't think you can fight this.
You're dead. Lulu's baiting this out. You're dead. Double kill. There's no play-by-play here, guys, by the way. This is all.
Yeah. This is the play-by-play.
This is all casual. Although I joke with Ricky. Sometimes when no flame, but sometimes the observers aren't the best. And when that happens, that's when Caster's Act comes out, because I can control my own camera, and Ricky is sometimes just watching the feed, and that's when I become the play-by-play.
How do you feel about Skyrat in this meta?
I think there's too much like magic resistance and health. So like the recent nerfs helped a lot, same with like Bracer. But is another reason like Lich became better as well, and I guess Skywrath also became better, is that everyone was like 2,000 health plus extra magic resistance, which means the flat burst damage from like Skywrath and Lich and stuff like that was just not good. But I would still say Skywrath right now is not a strong enough laner and too mana dependent when we just had Arcane boot nerfs that I still wouldn't really specifically go for a Skywrath unless they have a lot of like mobile heroes that the instant silence becomes really good. Like that's why I would pick Skywrath, if I see the instant silence being very strong in the early game.
Like a pack, like a spirit hero, I guess.
Yeah, one of those. And that your other heroes can kill them, but they just can't deal with the mobility. So then you silence them, and then, for example, a Slardar runs down and kills a Weaver, or a Juggernaut, or a Lifestealer. Like, he can do it, but if they press their spells, he can't do it. Yo, Necro's last hits. I wasn't paying attention, but Necro's bopping it with the last hits. 49 and 12.
Oh, he's going Radiance. He's going Radiance to Necro, so that's...
Because
Ooh,
he's...
there's a 2k ward up top for Dire.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one might be another if Cleese ever... Well, he doesn't know this camp is blocked yet, but maybe if it's...
I don't think it's Cleese, is it a Dire ward, right? It's a Dire ward.
Where are these... Oh, you're right. He blocked it.
Yeah.
No. No, yeah, Dire blocked it, so it's a Dire ward. But I'm saying, like, Cleese doesn't know this camp is open or is blocked yet. So later when he uses this camp and he's like, oh, it's blocked, if he goes to unblock it, then he might get this ward for free.
I meant the Ops ward. Like... Oh, the Spectre died.
Oh, yeah, a lot of slows
that
here.
was actually a gate, I think. That was like gate.
Let's go!
Gang.
Gate tech from Wurzag. I think they could do that dive if they wanted to, but I understand being a little scared.
Yeah, Skywrath has -6 armor right now.
Skywrath will get destroyed. But yeah, there's already a 3k advantage going for Team Sitout, and I think it gets harder. I think that was Luna Eclipse just killing off the Underlord, no creeps.
Yeah, a bit unlucky.
This is where like the Radiance rush on Necro is fine because he's having a good lane and he's not needed to actually do anything right now because both his side lanes are going well, so he will be able to rush this Radiance and get away with it. Otherwise, that's where like Necros slip up, is that okay, we're just gonna watch bottom apparently. Radiance, like, it takes so long to get to and you're not having a great time, so then you're just pushing off your effectiveness for way too long. I do think he should try to like come to the side lane, or they go to him to get a kill with his ult, and then he goes back to farming. That would be like an efficiency play that they could try to do.
My only concern for Radiant is they will like put too many resources here bot and still lose because they're like a bit too far behind on this bot lane.
Yeah, this is a so actually you wouldn't even want to come down here, I would say. Like, you would want to just go make plays otherwheres, and that's why this is a problem, because they don't have a playmaker, right? It would probably be Underlord that you just stand with and go. And then, for example, Luna's actually kind of low, so if between Pit and then one support spell, then the Spectre haunts in, like, that's how you get kills going. But bringing a bunch of heroes down here will be very difficult to actually get anything out of. And I suppose your Underlord could come in those situations, but still kind of very difficult. Actually,
swap bot.
By Spectre. Spot.
I don't think it's Spectre kill lane anymore. How do you recover
Another
that?
Eclipse! Oh, see, this is the nice thing about glaives. You like kill off any creeps nearby, and then your eclipse gets to come into value. That's a eclipse was just used. That's like off cooldown.
Yeah, it's only 110-second cooldown. Ooh, interesting. Luna went the moon shield facet. I feel like the other facet is still good, right?
Yeah, I would say so. The one you get damage per
Yeah.
eclipse bounce. Yeah, I think that one's more common. I don't know the exact build, like when you take it. I don't know how much people take the other one. I'm looking at this game. I guess it's like kind of okay because you know when like the Skywrath ult comes in, you could reduce that a lot. Like some of the damage is kind of televised. I guess that's kind of nice.
Ooh. If you put that at network, you will see.
Oh yeah.
It is a bit rough. It's a bit rough for Radiant.
I always forget to swap over. Damn fight. Yeah, that's fine. I know what you mean. There isn't one. I have colorblind mode on, so the color looks a little different for the power treads. Specifically, the agility one looks a little different than what most people usually have. Okay, where's the Radiance? 1,000 gold off. Soon these mid laners will contribute.
Yeah, the Winter Wyvern has done like nothing honestly. I just don't feel it as a mid hero.
That's like a third of his health gone on the crush. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so this is like a really rough spot to be in. Their next hope is kind of holding high ground. I know that's pretty far away, but you honestly will not get a very good fight for a long time until Sitout messes up and like all walks into a Wyvern ult, and that usually only happens around like high ground stuff because the lanes are just really rough here. And then you don't have the playmakers we were talking about earlier. Like there's no one that can do anything right now, and that's why it's not like, oh, we can find pickoffs like that. The next thing is actually high ground, which is why it's so important to have playmakers so that laning stage doesn't decide everything. But, well, you know, this is where you can always make mistakes. They are bringing Wyvern top.
Just one advice. I just saw Dire put a ward where they got devoted like half a minute ago. So
Luna, first
Luna?
death, kicked
Yeah,
from the
nice.
team.
Nice. Just a 4-man gank.
Yeah,
Actually 5-man because the Spectral Illusion was there too, I think.
yeah, you need something. You need something out of that.
You just need to get on the board. It's for the moral victory.
Yeah. But honestly, like even as Luna dies, it's not that bad because okay, so Slaughter rotated up, but no one else did, and at least the Venge and the Necro were on the enemy's half. So map efficiency wise, they're still farming quite well. But it is still very good to get that kill and start to put the fear in Luna so that she doesn't just like she was feeling really good because she soloed Underlord, so she was like not caring too much. So now that you kill her once, you put the fear back in the carry, and they'll do inefficient things to be safe. Whereas if you never scare them, they can be full max efficiency even with a lot of risk.
Luna just farming like a 4 stack in the Ancients.
It's still a little tough for her actually. She's got to be careful. Maybe shouldn't try to do both at the same time. Just start one and then the other. Or Lich can actually help here. So a lot of supports are too scared to help with stacks. But you can still throw out spells and auto attack and then just lighten up as you get close to the actual last hits, and that way the carry doesn't have to do so much themselves.
I have a story about that. I think like a few days ago, a few friends were playing Dota, and we played Lich +5, and there was like a 4 stack of Ancient, and the Lich had the passive where the shield resets at every kill.
Mm-hmm.
So he was stealing every last hit from the carry.
That one's pretty good in the right game. Yeah, I like that one.
It was just he keeps resetting because the carry like is killing it.
Yeah.
I think he stole like half of the creep.
You gotta work on your last hits. It's important. You gotta last hit the enemy, you gotta last hit your team. Going for a pretty deep play here following this courier, but
It's just a good play. Like it's sweeping the map, trying to make the map smaller because you just need to hunt down the Spectre or make life like
Radiant's
hard
top
for her.
tower's vanished.
Yeah, you can see like they don't have a lot of space on the Radiant. Necro going for next.
Radiant's top tower's taking
Got the
hits.
shard. This is like full greed build. He gets to do this because he's doing so well. His team's doing so well.
Yeah, like the only way I think they kill him if a 5-man Winter Weapon ulti, and that's about it. I think.
Radiant's top tower's hurting.
Ooh,
Ogre's going
does
Midas.
does the Radiance affect your allies hitting you? The
Oh, when you get
Mission
Wyvern
for-
ulted?
yeah.
I don't think so, because I don't think the item works on it. Besides, like, the actual evasion it has. Mid gank. Underlord's
Ooh.
super tanky, though, so they actually kill Slardar. Too bad the supports don't actually do a lot of right
And then
damage.
Necro is they got swapped out.
Nice swap. Spectre's in, but she does not have the damage to actually kill Necro. This is actually really good for Granny's cookies right now.
The Necro is alone. No ulti on him.
Yeah. Fortunately, though, they already used a lot of their abilities, so he's now just strong enough
Yeah.
to just like chase around. This is still overall quite good for them because I mean, they're like 9k behind, you know. So the fact that it was at least a couple kills going their way, like 3 kills, actually pretty good. But Necro did pick up a Reaper Scythe kill. Swap saved him to make sure he gets to regen, even though he was super low. If he dies, that's where like the greedy build starts to really kick you in the butt. But very nice swap.
Yeah, the recap actually shows that Radiant was like 800 gold swing for in their favor.
Yeah, that's why you gotta be careful of this stuff when you have a huge lead. You can't, like, when you go 1 for 1, you're like, oh, you know, it's worth it. It's really not. You have to be very careful of it. But of course they have a big enough lead where, you know, like 1 time is gonna be fine, but they can't do that too much.
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
I don't have a Spirit Vessel. This might have been a cool game for Spectre to do Spirit Vessel, but you can also see why she didn't, because you actually need kills for Spirit Vessel to be good.
Yeah.
And part of the reason that last fight went well is just because they really Sitout kind of grouped up onto a Wyvern and an Underlord who like those kind of fights. But now that we're kind of back to let's just find smaller heroes, pick off here, pick off there, like that's where Granny's Cookies really doesn't have a chance. They did make Vessel a little better, guys, but you still want, like when you look at your team against their team, you still want to be able to say comfortably, like, yeah, we'll probably get several kills throughout the laning stage. It's 4 to 14 at 19 minutes, you know? So, like, even if Spectre had been involved in every single kill, she'd have 4 charges at most, and then whatever she gets from dying, which you really don't want to plan to be dying to get charges. So it's like, yes, it's easier, but also 3 of those kills just happened. So most of this game, she would have had a completely dead item. And that's why, like, if you're going to get Vessel, not only does it have to be a good Vessel game, but you also have to know, like, we're actually capable of getting kills. If we're getting totally stomped, then it doesn't really do much. It's quite unfortunate.
Ooh. I don't really like this Guardian Greaves rush on Underlord. I feel like it's just too big of an item to rush the recipe at least. Wait,
Yeah, this is where, so like he's got Greaves and then a pipe queued up, so like overall his items are fine, and this is like one of the things that differentiates Dota players, like through the different skill brackets. Like Herald Underlord has like totally random items that don't make sense on Underlord. Here in like this Archon average, like all the items make sense, but the order matters a lot in a game, and this is where earlier we were saying like pipe is probably better first. Or like you said, like maybe you just get the mech and then you go for the pipe and then you go back for the Greaves. Since the dispel is not strictly the important part, it's more just like the armor, which to be fair, you do need the Greaves to have like the aura. You could maybe just get the buckler and then go back for pipe. But yeah, I agree. I'd rather see like the other one first, but it's on the right track.
the Ogre, even in this game, is going Midas first item. This is really
I mean, it's like, to be fair to it, I really do think at this point, based on how the lanes went, Granny's Cookie's main way to come back is high ground. So if you kind of know you're playing for 20 minutes down the line, there's not really much better item than
Yeah.
Midas.
I mean, yeah, I suppose so. Like, what item could he build to help his team right now?
Yeah, like
Instead of the Midas?
Solar's not really that great for Spectre. Like Force, all those, they're nice, but you still won't win a fight outside your high ground. So I like this. This is how you know it's a coordinated team game. Like Roche is actually happening before a high ground push and before 35 minutes. This is a pretty fast Roche, but very doable with the Slardar and the bench. Ping Roche time, guys.
Oh. I didn't know you can pick up Roche after TPing.
Dyer's mid tower won't last
Did he?
much longer.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, he TP'd then picked up the Roche.
Oh, I didn't even notice. Interesting. Huh. I also
Did
didn't
it?
know that would be
I
doable.
swear he did that. I could be wrong, but I don't know.
I have no idea. I am also the support player. I very rarely pick up Aegis, so I have very few interactions with how that works. Could they just get the shard on the Slardar? That's a pretty good one.
That's a really good shot, yeah.
Who's already got theirs? I guess Lich bought their own, or maybe they stole this one earlier. I wasn't even paying attention.
I have no idea.
Who got the other shard?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, they stole the shard, and then yeah, so then it went to Slardar. Vengeance is pretty good too. They have a lot of nice shards, so wherever it went would have been nice. Run, Cleese. Run.
It's interesting, like the Spectre is
Dyer's
going
mid
for
tower could use a
an
little
Orchid,
help.
but do you really have the space to go for these Orchid pickups right now? Because like I presume Dyer will just group up right now, and there will never be
Turn
a solo
around.
player.
Oh no, Found trying to get back to the base. Pretty good Wyvern ult though. Kill off the Venge. The heals help a lot. No Necro ult. Yeah, maybe you can get the...
Oh, the Luna.
Honestly, if Spectre were to buy back, I think it might be worth it if you could take out this Aegis. Because otherwise they can reset and they'll have like 3 more minutes to shove you in. But I think if you can kill the Luna Aegis and then maybe take a fight 5v4 further, might be okay. Still, I mean, they are getting a kill. It's a support, but I bet the gold was worth more than the Spectre kill. Yup. So, this is what I was saying. Like, we're down to just waiting for high ground and seeing if Sitout does it correctly. Which here, I think they got a little excited because of the Spectre. So I didn't actually get to
Midas
see
is
their
up.
formation. On Ogre?
Yeah. The combat mechanic
Here we
is in
go.
place.
We're online.
We just need like 20 more minutes, I think. Issue here is, like, they can just park the Luna in front, and if something bad happens, they can just swap it back.
Yeah, that's what they should do, which...
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. They still have 2 minutes. It looks like they're coming up to do it now. So that's what I want to see them do, and as long as you do that, I think you're fine to force this if you really want to. Looks like they're going to try to kill this Underlord first. Another early Eclipse. You should have this.
Oh,
4 seconds
Oh,
on
the Necro.
ult.
the Necro is dead.
That's a nice Necro kill. Did not get his stuff out. Huge Lich ult, though.
Oh, it's the Lich, right?
That's enough. Yeah, you can take this from here. Even though the Necro kind of got wrecked, but they threw everything at him. Uh-oh, are we diving too far, guys? Are we diving? Just get the buildings. Yeah, here, usually I would tell you guys, support players, just sit in the back, but when this many are dead, it's kind of fine to come up here. Oh, you guys didn't actually have creep waves, though. Oops. Well, you did the hard part. You broke the tier 3. That's something the supports could do. Maybe like head back, make sure they grab the creeps. But at least they got the the tower, and I mean, you kind of still have a minute, I guess 45 seconds at this point on the Aegis, so you could really just go straight back. Necro TP in somewhere. Yeah, it looks like you went to the outpost. You have like 20 seconds, which is enough time for her to take racks. So just like run in there and just have her hit the barracks. That's enough.
How do you feel about Ags on bench, on our support bench? Do you feel like an Eternals will be better here because of the stronger spot? Okay.
Luna? Alright, that's the Aegis. I don't think they committed too much for that.
Eternals.
They want to force this. I don't think this is quite necessary.
Oh? That's a good vulnerability. The Luna might be dead. No. So close.
Run.
So close.
I think they're still gonna get the barracks. Maybe just one. Still, one's kind of enough. Now you gotta run. So this.
The Luna was so close to dying.
Yeah, I know it still says 20k, but we're maintaining at 20k. This is the potential comeback that I was talking about for Granny's Cookies, where you kind of need the enemy to mess up on high ground, which is what happened here. They try to force a fight back here, so they all start running in, and that's what allows the Wyvern ult to happen. But if it's just Luna right here, then it's very difficult for Wyvern to get a good ult that captures all the supports and the backline that are just sitting over here. So Sitout really, they probably could have just gotten this very cleanly, not even lose the Aegis. Maybe lose the Aegis, but it's not a huge deal anyways. It's going to expire. They'd get one, but this is maybe the way Granny's Cookies drags this out and slowly gets, what? 4 staff on Ogre. About Wyvern. Wyvern is a hero who scales quite well. Oh, looks like an Underlord ult found on his own. Spectre. Spectre's got the Orchid. Spectre, after they all kill this, you gotta go shove the lane instantly. No jungling.
Yeah, if you are losing, you should just like play as much as you can on the opposite side of the map.
Alright, here comes the creep wave. All you do is just stand behind Luna.
Ooh, that's a big tower.
The Bloodlust.
The bloodlust.
Shoot,
One good thing for Radiant is like they have so much long range poke. They can just like click the Luna without committing.
20 gold! They're so back. 100 more
fight
ice
is so
spires
close.
and the gold's even. Not even. 2,000. I was off by
Oh,
a
the
factor
Luna.
of 10.
Luna, ooh, get a bit.
Uh-oh. Fortunately, Luna's not in that because of the BKB. Well, actually, I think it might still kill Slardar. Really close. Time to be on the retreat.
Oh no, the Spectre wanted
Ooh,
in.
good fear. Blade Mail saving her for now. Wyvern save. Necro does not have ult for 10 seconds. Luna very low. No multicast since it's just support Ogre.
They're so
That
low.
was so close.
And no one dies.
This is where if you're only 18k behind, perhaps you'd get the kills. But again, this is like showing where a lot of teams in Archon, the formation is just wrong a little bit enough that there are windows for Granny's Cookies to have a chance. And that's what a lot of these are coming down to. Very close attempts. But if Sitout like changes the way they approach to what we were talking about earlier, just Luna in the front, people in the back, which they're doing at times but not consistently, then these opportunities won't be available to Granny's Cookies.
How do you feel about Glimmer Cape as an item right now? I just feel like it's a bit like wasteful, like wasted item. I can't really.
In the meta or like in this game
Yeah.
specifically?
In the meta, like in general.
I still think it's fine. The magic resistance and barrier are still good in the right games, along with like the invis utility. It also gives some like move speed to like whoever you're using it on, so it can be good. Just depends on the game. This game, I would still do it versus like a Necrophos. If you can stop his ult, you saw it a couple times come into play where he goes in, gets really low, but gets an ult kill, and then heals up to full. That's like the ideal Necro game plan. And so if you can prevent the kill, then he gets really low and doesn't heal back up. That's where you get him. So I'd say like versus him, Glimmer is extremely good. But other, like, depending on the game, as long as they have a lot of magic damage, like the barrier and the magic resistance are still really solid.
No drums in this one. I swear I see the drums like every high in Mario.
It would be good. Earlier you asked me about like the Aegis or the Ags on Venge, which I think a fight broke out and I forgot. But this is why like core Venge would do it, but the pacing on support Venge just takes a while. Like you can do it, but for example, the drums you just mentioned, she could have gotten that plus a Glimmer. And those items, at least one of them, would have already come into play for the bottom racks attempt, the top racks attempt. She might have already won the game now, like with one of those items, as opposed to the Ags, which just got recently finished and will now start to matter at 30 minutes into the game. But they clearly could have won like earlier, not only based on their formation, but also if you adjust these kind of items, which is why you don't see Ags on support Venge nearly as much. But core Venge, you can get it like at 15-ish plus minutes. Like it comes into play way sooner.
Oh, Luna BK beat, I think, for nothing.
Maybe a misclick.
I guess.
Or is that earlier? It's 30 seconds left on it. So I forget if something happened.
I mean, the Roche got killed like a minute ago, so it couldn't be up. It probably a misclick.
Oops.
But at 6 seconds, like, who cares? It's still 6 seconds.
Yeah, you didn't get punished
Can
for
get
it,
lower.
so it's kind of fine. I think this was supposed to be a disassemble on the Mask of Madness for the butterfly.
We don't do that in low game.
We don't do that here.
I do that. We don't disassemble.
It's a little too soon, Lich. You don't need this yet. Wait till they go on her, then throw that on. Yeah, see, this is fine. Like, it's not fast, but it's very safe. You gotta wait for the Manta, though. Going again 20 seconds too soon. There's no creep wave, so you wait.
Wow, the Winter Wyvern is actually shredding the Luna.
Yeah, like, this is where Wyvern shines. She didn't make the plays earlier, but as you push the high ground, like, the ult threat plus the long-range Q is where it's really strong. This is also where she needs a Satanic rather than a Butterfly, actually. Luna would not be about to die here. Nice glyph. Ogre's about to finish this job.
Ooh, that's
Fortunately, that's the Ag, so that's kind of exactly what you want from that bait. Luna finished it, pops the ult. She's gonna come back with the Aegis, Necro ult, killed the Underlord. Kind of a lot committed for just one barracks, but they do get it. They're gonna get out here. This is kind of fine, I would say, for Granny's cookies. The Wyvern being able to poke down Luna is just so good. Sorry, what were you saying?
it's just like a barracks. Like, who cares? What?
Yeah, you're just sitting in your base anyways.
Yeah, it's like.
And Spectre and Underlord can deal with this because they have like the global abilities. So Spectre would be handling bottom lane anyways, which you're gonna push in. I would have preferred that to go back top, which is like almost dead, and then they could get possibly 2 barracks on an opposite side.
Yeah. The hardest high ground to mid, I believe, because you can get flanked from like 2 sides.
That can be, yeah, that can be true. I think in this game it probably doesn't matter as much, although you still have to be afraid of the Wyvern, but I think Wyvern has to show herself in order to actually defend. So I think you're less likely to get flanked this particular game. Another Tormentor steal. So Sitout's looking pretty good in terms of their laning stage, their early objective taking, Tormentor, like that whole combo was good. They are struggling a little bit on being in the right formation on the high ground and going a bit too deep rather than necessary. They need a little bit more patience of sitting behind the Luna and letting her You don't have to take the barracks in one go. You know, like 500 health off a tower is 500 health, and they just like keep going instead of making sure like Manta's back up. Luna goes to half. Like you should back up and heal, but she goes in again. That's why Granny's Cookies is able to find these fights. So if Sitout, if you guys watch this and you adjust that, you'll clean this up like 10 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, they'll watch it for sure.
Get a Satanic too. That'll also help you a lot. This game, you're not actually getting hit that much. There's a lot of like magic damage. So the Satanic, so then they throw a bunch on Luna, and then she just pops a Satanic and heals. That's kind of like the same thing you want from the Necro. He absorbs a bunch of damage, ults, and heals up to full, and then they have nothing. Luna can do the same with the Satanic when they don't actually have a bunch of right click. Well, I know like Wyvern kind of does now at this point. Same with Spectre, but earlier, like when you actually finish it, it's still like the heal is still good enough.
Yeah, the Spectre really needs to play the bottom side
Swap?
of the map.
Swap on the Wyvern?
Oh no.
Just throw it. Do it, Lich. Finish it. Finish it. All right. They got it. That's a mid kill. That's totally worth just blowing everything on it. Necessary buyback. Okay, see, they're way too clumped up. Wyvern ult is used, but still got to be really careful. They scatter. They should still just be like, see, this guys, this is where you're like going too hard. It might work, but it also might backfire like the last couple times. This time it looks fine though. Necro ult gonna find the Ogre. Luna finishes up the Underlord. Now it seems like they're strong enough. Going for kind of split here. Kind of going for megas. Kind of going for people under the tier 4s. Lich ult down. Yeah, with the megas they should be good. I believe, was that the Conda finished? Yeah, Conda on Luna just deletes that Underlord. All right, Team Sitout. Game number 1.
Yeah. To be honest, I think Team Sitout are the favorites in this matchup. I believe the Underlord, I think like the core clan, like Guardian, Herald, and Crusader on Granny's Cookies.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so they are better players, are the supports.
Yeah, in that case, the support should pick more active players for like, so I've like done this myself where support players might be the highest level in their like group of friends playing and party stuff. And those kind of situations. Oh wait, I can change this back real quick. 1 second. There's gonna be there's a game 2, right? This is best of 2 for the group stage.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, there'll be a second game,
It'll
guys,
like
in a second.
5 minutes.
No flame here, guys. This is all positive, all nice. In these kind of situations, where if you have the higher level support players, these are supports that depend on cores, Skywrath and Ogre. You want more active cores, kind of like, or supports like Clockwork, who do the things for the cores. Not like, can you stun for me so I can Skywrath ult, or like, here's the Bloodlust, you go in now and you like outskill. If you're the higher ranked player on your team, then some good supports are the ones who have like very strong lanes on their own, not like in combination with other heroes. So heroes like Enchantress, I know that one's not very common in pubs, but like Enchantress is one such hero. Undying can kind of be that, although his actual playmaking's a little awkward. I think I mentioned like Clockwork and Tusk. Dark Willow can be okay. Furion. These type of heroes who like do things on their own, and then you go like, hey, Spectre, go farm the bottom half of the map right now. You like read the map, you tell them, and there's like, I'm making a play with this guy. And because you're the higher ranked player, you can like more easily direct it. But if you're the higher ranked player, but then you pick like a Dazzle, now it's like, hey bud, I know you're losing the lane. Could you dive that tower and make sure like swap aggro with that creep? And I'm like, I'm gonna heal you. Like it's way harder. And that's kind of how Skywrath and Ogre
just
work.
join the lobby.
Oh yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Thank you. No, you're good. You're good. I'm so used to having like a 10-minute break here. Are these guys ready to just go into game 2?
It was like a quick pee, I see from the. But yeah, so what do you think? Do you think that do you think the draft was the issue
Draft and
for
getting
the issue?
outlaned a little bit. There's so like
Are you ready?
there's a bunch of different places you could highlight there. But step one is make it a little easier for yourself. And I actually recommend, so anyone watching this who does like amateur drafting, step one, make a spreadsheet, 1 through 5, all the different roles. Put your favorite heroes on there, and then decide how you guys want to play. Like, pick a single strategy. You don't need to be creative if you're a casual team, but having this first helps a lot rather than going into the draft and then like trying to react to stuff. It doesn't matter as much, especially if you're not like Divine Plus. Don't worry about the enemy strategy as much as your own. If you're trying to play, we want to play late game. So then here's our late game winning hero. We're gonna get second pick, and we're gonna make our carry get the best hero that they think they'll win the game with. Then earlier, it's like, here are our space makers. The exact hero doesn't matter, but you have your defined roles. So the easiest for a lot of casual teams is a 4 protect 1 strategy, like the classic. So we want a mid who's going to be relatively active. In the current meta, your offlaner should be building auras, and your supports, you don't want them to be like super passive. You want them to be like, they can, a strong laner for your carry to give them a good start, and then someone who can maybe also make plays if your cores can't do it. If your cores aren't playmakers, then you need a playmaker in the support. But you're like filling these things. Like, we have our playmaker, we have our aura builder, whatever. If you go in with your own strategy in mind, then it becomes a lot easier. In this case, I think they were going for a global strategy, but they're missing the part of like where the global people come into, and that is the playmaker. You have like your Underlord and your Spectre both waiting for things to happen, and then you have a Wyvern, Skywrath, and Ogre. Like, none of those three fit that final, we start the play. I pudge hook someone in. I blink Avalanche Toss. I snowball punch shards. Right? Like, the guy who goes in and does it is what was missing there. Depending on your strategy, you just need to kind of know what you need and then like fit that type of hero. And it doesn't matter if that hero is meta, because we're this is like an Archon game, right? Forget that. But you're fitting the trope of an aura builder, a playmaker, a strong laner, all that stuff.
Yeah, I think I was watching the Cap podcast
Mm-hmm.
where he was talking to, I
Dire's
believe,
banned.
Insania and Quinn. And Quinn said something that's interesting, that um like gaming
Ten
gladiators
seconds
were
to
winning
go.
as like as far like if they're
5
playing their
seconds.
game. As soon as someone needs to adapt, they're kind of on the back foot and losing the game. And
Radiant's
they just
banned.
felt in the finals like they were adapting to Liquid instead of playing their own stuff. So I guess the best thing is to play to your
10 seconds
strengths
to
and not
go.
to like
Radiant's
blindly
banned.
try to counter the enemy.
Ten seconds to
Yeah.
go.
In these kind of situations as well,
Dire's banned.
I would typically say second pick actually works out a lot better for many of these amateur team things, just because
10 seconds to go.
the idea of first pick is you pick some ultra broken hero that you
5
will
seconds.
min max, and that kind of stuff just doesn't happen as much at the casual level. But having a good hero matchup like Anti Mage into Medusa, that tends to be easier to execute. So I would often say like second pick is
10
better
seconds
in
to
these types of
go.
settings.
Radiant's banned.
But you can still get first pick and still kind of like response pick stuff, right? You reveal the very generic hero at the front or the flexible
10
heroes.
seconds to go.
For example, the strong laner that just can't be countered. Like, it doesn't matter. You ban a couple of the worst counters, like Clockwork, for example. Ban some of the worst matchups, then you pick Clockwork. It doesn't matter that you revealed it early. You're
10
picking something very
seconds to
stable.
go.
They respond, and now you start to pick responses to that. But don't focus too
5
much on like
seconds.
on paper responses to the enemies. Like, oh, it's a perfect
Dire's
anti-mage
mid.
game. Wait, we said we were doing an early game draft. Like, anti-mage take way too long. You know, don't deviate too much trying to like on paper counter the enemy 1-to-1. That's when your draft ends up looking like shit. I've done this many times myself. Like, keep in mind your own thing. A lot of people don't have practice with drafting, so I know it's very tough. Okay, so we're revealing Necrophos right off the bat.
Yeah.
Pick anyone who deals with the ultimate. Oracle, Dazzle. two really good heroes right now. Anyone else who has like a bunch of burst saves, Omni Knight works. You are hard countering what Necrophos will do, which is like he needs to get an ultimate. This is not that, right? In the lane, this might be fine, sure. And if that's what they're going to go for, they want like the lane counter. Okay. I actually don't know if I even agree with that because Necro can go into his like ghost form and then you can't right click with Shadow Fiend. So like I'm not so sure on that, but they reveal a core right away. You hard counter that core with a save. For Granny's Cookies, because you have the Necrophos is not a playmaker. He is going to sit in the lane, and he is going to want to get kills with his ult, but he cannot do any of it himself. So you need playmakers from your supports and your off lane. If this is an off lane Necro, then from your mid Necro, you need someone who zips in, who jumps in, don't want to wait for a blink from a support and wait till like 18 minutes. Necro gets his ultimate at like 6 minutes, right? You need something that by 6 minutes, you will help Necro get ultimate kills. I don't care what it is. There's so many different heroes you could pick, but that is something we need to see from Granny's Cookies in the next coming like 2-3 picks.
Dyer's pick.
So there you go. Abaddon, save hero. Not quite the same as the other ones I mentioned, but the shield will help to absorb the damage from the Necrophos. And Abaddon himself can't easily be killed by Necrophos. I actually think there's like a very small window where you can ult. Because if you kill Abaddon in a single hit above the threshold into the death, then the ultimate will not activate. Unless, of course, you just activate it yourself, and that's totally fine. But there actually is a window where you can kill Abaddon with Necro-ult without proccing it. I don't know exactly where that is, though.
But also, if you look for Radiant, they have like a really meta archetype of lineup right now. They have like the ranged carry and the save support. So it's just a good lane combo right now.
Yeah, very straightforward. Rubik is not a bad response to Abaddon. There's a lot of good steals there. Dark Willow also a little bit of a playmaker, but neither of these heroes, like
5 seconds.
they are the more active type of supports, but they still cannot easily start things for you on this Necrophos. Let's say there's like a Storm Spirit pick incoming. How will you catch Storm before he zips away? Like your game plan is I'm going to walk up as Rubik and lift him into everything else. That is a very small window of opportunities where you're like behind trees and you can do this until you finish a Blink Dagger. So now the off lane or the mid, depending where Necro goes, they have to be someone who actually starts things. And if it's now that it's a core, it can be a blink builder, and that's fine because the blink comes online much sooner than a support. But like you still gonna need that. And if you need that, that also means like they may have to be the aura builder as well. So you're kind of putting a lot on yourselves. But this support duo is much better than the last support duo. So we are moving in the right directions. I don't know that I strictly think this game calls for Mars, but he is just an active offlaner who gets things done, which Abaddon and Shadow Fiend can't, so I'm fine with that.
I feel like a Slardar could have been good again. You still have the minus armor combo with Shadow Fiend.
Okay, so that kind of explains it.
Yeah,
the Slardar could have been cool, but I would say Necro and Dark Willow both have ways to not be hit, and then they both like Dark Willow drops a bunch of shit on the floor. Necro has like ways to zip around, so it's actually it can be like annoying for Slardar. I think something that doesn't depend on right clicking as much is probably a little easier, kind of like Mars, even if the synergy with the Shadow Fiend is not quite there. But then they also grab the Phoenix, which is this kind of answers a lot of team fight, but notice that everything is on Mars. If you can see this as Granny's Cookies and you hard counter the Mars and you give Mars a horrible game, I know there's one more pick. But let's say the last pick also can't be a playmaker. You identify that Mars must be the playmaker and you hard counter Mars. Then Team Sitout is just waiting for Mars to come online and the supports can't do anything because Shadow Fiend's farming. They pick a mid who also farms and Mars like, I need my blink. I need like this. I need that. Right? And you're just stuck waiting. That's kind of what happened in the last game where there was no playmaker for Granny's Cookies and they were just like stuck waiting.
that's a mid Lena.
So
what carry would have a good matchup here against SF? and also have a good lane against Mars right now.
Someone who can gap close easily, because Shadow Fiend doesn't want people to get on top of him. So carry who has a blink, either a way to gap close on their own, builds a blink, or also has like a natural way to dodge the ultimate. Any of those would be good. Good matchup into Mars, and then you're also an egg hitter. Ideally not a ranged hero, because ranged heroes don't gap close onto Shadow Fiend, like I described, and also it's bad versus Arena. Something like Ursa could kind of check a lot of those boxes. You don't have the greatest matchup versus Mars, but it's not too bad. Something like Monkey King can kind of work. Again, it's a little bit of a skill matchup between Mars. Lifestealer and Juggernaut, technically not quite in the meta, but for a pub game, it's whatever. I'd be open to either of those.
Sorry, the issue with Juggernaut against Mars is there is a bug right now that if you arena with the no vision facet and the Jug is in it and ulting, the ulti just stops because he has no
He
vision.
has no vision.
himself.
Is that a bug, or is that that's actually just the mechanic, I suppose, because his ult never gave vision. Yeah. The other issue is that Mars, if he just walks forward, the ultimate always hits him in the front, so he always gets damage reduction. I don't know if everyone knows that interaction.
Oh yeah.
But actually, both those heroes get banned.
Jug's because Jug hits always from the front, right?
Yeah,
with his ulti.
Well,
his double.
Oh, actually, I guess they did just change that. Now it does always hit from the front, doesn't it?
Because of his facet.
Yeah,
right?
Prior to that, it didn't. It was like a little random, and so Mars procced it to always hit in the front, which blocked. But I guess now you don't even have to.
Yeah, so he double counters actually, Juggernaut with Mars.
I'm gonna sit down. Let me lower my desk.
Ooh, a Weaver.
Okay, so the issue with Weaver, so he checks some boxes and misses some boxes. Weaver is hard to catch, which is good because so far there is only a Mars who does anything. But you will get stuck in arena, and your attacks will get blocked by the arena.
5 seconds.
Team Sitout should just pick a playmaker. I don't know if this is carry Shadow Fiend, but
it is most likely like carry Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, then your mid should just be. I'm trying to think who has a good matchup versus Lina and Necro, which is kind of tough. There's actually not a lot of heroes who do that. If you're not, I think it's Lina, but I don't know. Sometimes you get some crazy stuff.
It is Lina mid.
Okay. So against Lina mid,
it's like a block again, like
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd say like Earth Spirit would be really cool, but I don't know if they play that. Maybe Primal Beast just dodges. Well, he doesn't like dealing with the Dark Willow.
Yeah, the Bramble. Yeah, the Bramble is really bad. What?
Time to pick some of these folks.
You thought it was gonna be a Shadow Fiend carry.
Wow, that's interesting. It's a mid Shadow Fiend. That's a curveball.
Well, mid Shadow Fiend is fine versus Lina. I would say it's maybe slightly Lina favored, but depending on the raises, it can be good. And earlier you mentioned that Team Sitout, their core players are higher MMR a bit, right, than the core players of Granny's Cookies. So we might end up seeing that where Lina, if she does get caught up by raises and like misses LSA, she will get burst by the Shadow Fiend. So could end up happening here.
Yeah, but the issue for Radiant is they have like two samey heroes. Like they're basically the same game you played earlier with the TA and PA. Like you have two heroes that are kind of the same, and you don't really have I guess the March is the playmaker, but you still have to like put at least one of these heroes with the Mars and the support to actually kill someone, because I don't know if the Mars, the Phoenix, and the Abaddon can kill anyone together, or like at least easily.
It would be really tough. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on the Mars to make sure he has a good game. I do think with the spell casting build from Shadow Fiend, he's more of a playmaker than he used to be, but still he's not like the best, but he at least like kind of checks some of those boxes. There will be a really cool combo here between like Arena, Shadow Fiend, ult, Phoenix Egg. So the team fight is pretty covered, and Granny's Cookies don't have a great way to get to this Drow. That is one of the nice things about that pick, is that she's going to be really far back, and Weaver can kind of like Shikuchi in, but otherwise everyone else just kind of has to like run and or blink in, which is not really the best. Anything crazy?
Looks like we lost one.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we have a pause.
Really like a pro match. This is very impressive. You guys are really getting into this. Hotkeys. Reason.
Oh, we should probably introduce the players. We kind of forgot.
I don't know. Okay, go for it. Go for it. You know them more than me. Or do you want to go like?
Why?
I don't know. I mean,
Are you just mean like
Doesn't
Phoenix,
it?
Lulu, all that stuff?
yeah, just like saying the names because I don't know half of these players honestly. Like, really.
That's half more than I know, man.
Yeah, we have Microsoft PowerPoint actually playing. That's a big
Impressive.
hitter.
Microsoft PowerPoint on Rubik. Cleese on Dark Willow. Davidonstreet, Weaver, Carry, ThymeTwister on Lena. I don't have any time growing in my garden. Great reminder, Lena. And Spineapple. I am trying to grow a pineapple, actually. Playing the offlane Necro. They're moving up here against... I'm just making sure we're not missing a fight. Versus... I don't know how to pronounce this. Ea-nasir?
Yeah.
Ea-nasir on the carry drow. Seething Shadow Fiend mid. Y.O.S.O. He's got a lot of playmaking to do this game.
30 seconds
Helped
to
out by
showtime.
Lulu on the Phoenix and Wurzag on the Abaddon. Are we gonna get a 5-on-5 here to start us off? Gonna
I
walk
think
in.
Dire should win this, right?
Well, we'll see in the spells that hit or not. Lulu taking a lot of
Lulu is-
damage. You gotta be careful here. All right. Just a little.
I
hello.
believe that Drau's name is I don't know how much history do you know, but the guy in like Mesopotamia who complained that the clay was bad or something. I think
Oh,
his name was like
no, isn't it like a copper merchant or something that
yeah
people were
yeah
complaining
actually,
about?
it's copper, yeah, it's
He's the
copper,
guy
yeah,
who
it's
sold
copper.
like faulty copper or bronze or something.
Yeah. That's a deep cut reference. Okay, let's see where are the wars going.
Doing in the day, both of them doing in the day, but then you see each other, and this is when you should kind of know, like in your head, you're like, what were they doing? This is why if you can put the sentry in the back, Rubik, by the way, you can put it on this side. That'll be better, because then at least Abaddon knows you did it, but he has to spend a few extra seconds walking around. It's like the lane kind of pushing a little bit, though, with that Fade Bolt kind of pushed back, so now balanced here. Which these first few levels are the hard part for Necro. So Rubik, if you were watching this, you'd want to identify, like, you just need to get like Necro to like level 3, and then this becomes much easier. At the same time, on the other side, you guys want to punish Necro now while he's really weak. Lena doing well so far.
Am I blind? Where is the second Radiant board?
There's
Oh,
one in the
there's-
lane and then one in the mid.
Yeah, I see it. You know. They did that also in the first game, but it was a bit too close to the camp, so he got spotted by the sentry.
Oh, this one? Gotcha. I'd say they don't really need this observer in this particular lane. This is where, if you guys play as like a team and you're going for these level 1 smokes, feel free to use the starting observer, like one of them. One in the mid is pretty standard, and then use the other one for trying to get the first blood. Because that kind of matters more for team environments than like needing this, essentially. Or this. Like, it helps, but you can play without it. I know you guys do. Everyone has played lanes without wards. We're doing up here. Looks like we're struggling a little bit. We were getting denied a lot by maybe this Mars. High damage there. But Weaver's got good damage too. But the attack animation is a little slow if you haven't been practicing Weaver recently.
Ooh, the Willow could be in trouble.
She has no fear. She's going in.
Didn't even put the red click in.
Ooh, blood grenade? Misclick or thinking about going? Looks like it's not going to happen. Dark Willow this game did go for Thorny Thicket. The other facet's actually more popular now, but I'm kind of okay with it this game since her team is lacking in the crowd control department, so getting more brambles could help a lot.
Could you remind me what the other one does?
The other
I
one's
don't play.
throwing shade, which the I think the closer you are during Shadow Realm, I'm actually forgetting the specifics as well. Like the closer you are to them during Shadow Realm, your spells do more damage. The longer you are near them, and now that Bedlam has to be cast on yourself, a lot of Dark Willow supports get throwing shade to be near the enemy. You just like throw out Shadow Realm for damage in the lane, and then later on your Bedlam does more damage. Bottom lane, they're running at the Necro, but tossed back with the telekinesis. That's good. That's exactly how you want to use that telekinesis to start. Top lane, Lulu. A little low, but not running into extra brambles. Very good. The brambles are where all the damage comes from with this facet.
Do you think like support players can map out their first like 10 minutes even before the game? Like 3 minutes go for the Lotus, 4 minutes, or actually like 6 minutes go for the rune, then 7 minutes go for the wisdom rune, 8 minutes another rune, and then killing stage is over.
You can map it out to a degree, and if you've ever seen a content creator, but you can kind of list out different things good in the first 10 minutes to do, but then you have to adjust based on like what happens in the game and what you can actually do. But if you at least have a checklist of like these are all good objectives, and then you adjust on the game, like because this hero's in, this matters more, because the lane is bad, I can't do this one. You know, you can kind of do that stuff.
Another quiet game start, but I feel like Granny's cookies are in a better position right now than they were last game.
Yeah, I think last game by 10 minutes, they were already like 3K behind. So far, going a little better. Though maybe the biggest issue is like Weaver's last hits are a little bit rough. Same with this Necros. But Lena's doing well. So this is, so actually to your question, and you start thinking like, how do I play the first 10 minutes? Who do I prioritize? This is where the team discusses. Lena's like, I'm doing pretty well. The Silence are like, I'm not doing so well. So you need to help enable your Lena. This mid matchup, very rune dependent. Shadow Fiend and Lena both care a lot. So the support should come mid right now to make sure Lena gets the rune. Maybe she gets a haste. She can come rotate, help kill a side lane, help to recover the Weaver and the Necro. But like, what could you do? Like, you give this guy a Lotus. Is that going to make up for 15 CS? Not really. But a kill on the Drow, that can change it, right? That can help you recover. So this is where you would adjust your checklist. So like that first ultimate goes on the Shadow Fiend, but of course a solo kill is very difficult. But if you had a support, one more set of spells from Rubik or the Dark Willow, maybe that is a Shadow Fiend kill. She'd end up getting the Illusion Rune, but it's mostly just looks like healing.
I will advise for Dire to check their small camp in future games, because I feel like this small camp has been blocked for like 2 games straight in the lane stage, and the lane is just like too far ahead, and they can't like fall back with the full.
Wisdom Runes, very good to do. Microsoft PowerPoint, he's on it. Lulu, are you heading over? We're watching. We're judging. Looks like it is going. A few seconds late, but as long as no one else is there.
There's a Lena gang up.
Yeah, there you go. This is how you help out your Weaver, right? If you can find this Mars, and it's a good time to come because he's alone when the supports. It's a good try. He even kills the courier. Oh no! If he gets out, this is really good for him. But it was a good attempt by Granny's Cookies. This is like the right idea. If you can, you know the support is going. You either contest that, or you try to punish the offlaner. So Y.O.S.O actually should have been a little bit more careful. He was trying, but he should be dead, honestly. Like, if the spells had connected, he should be dead there. So it's like a little bit of luck, and then a little bit of juking them out to get away.
How do you feel about first item Boots of Travel? I really don't like it.
I don't know the exact builds Lena's are going for. I think Boots of Travel are a little less popular nowadays to get early because you kind of want more fighting power from your items, and Boots of Travel don't really do that for you. They let you show up everywhere, but when you show up, you have to be strong enough to just kill people. For Lina, it kind of still works because she needs so much mana and she's strong with her ultimate. So she's coming down here. Rubik de-warded ahead of time. They shouldn't know she's here outside of the fact she's missing mid. This is where you're missing playmakers though, right? You just have to walk at this Drow and Drow walks away. So this is where if your Rubik is a Tusk or if a Clockwork, something like that, then this kind of stuff is less likely. Huge rotations down here. So we got Mars coming in, gonna drop the arena, block off Alina, get a quick kill. This is so good to get the Lina kill. It's a bit of an overcommitment to bring this many heroes, but we'll see what they can do. Maybe if you can get anything else or get the tower. Kind of looks like they realize, yeah, just go back to your twin gates, guys. Go back. All right, a little bit too many heroes, but that is, you get those opportunities when you don't have those playmakers and you just have to walk at something like Drow. Next time you have to be a little bit more patient and see if Drow walks up. If she does, you get it. If she doesn't, then that's just what happens. But at least you won't get killed like back here.
My issue, like with the Boot of Travel, is just you can fall into games where your map is so small that you can't even Boot of Travel anywhere. So you're basically stuck on base and like you cannot use your 2K item for anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. I would say if you are the team that is maybe the underdog, I know these are supposed to be relatively balanced, but maybe after your first game, you're like, oh, that didn't go well. Yeah, maybe that's where you don't want to get Boots of Travel. You want to go something more power up front. Because I think if you're, let's just talk in general, if you think you're the team or you're the player who has less MMR than someone else, you don't want to plan to get to the late game. It's like, oh, that's where I'm going to outplay them. The better player is going to beat you early. So go for strong upfront power and just beat someone. I think a lot of people overestimate how a game snowballs, and I've seen people talk like, this guy like played way too well, he must be a smurf, or like this guy's so bad, like he has to be an account buyer. But honestly, just how things play out at the start really affect a lot. Nice arena top to catch this Weaver. I don't think he's gonna get his ult off. Yeah, good arena kill from Y.O.S.O so far. I said a lot of pressure would be on Y.O.S.O. Living up to it. 2 arenas, 2 kills, perfect score. As soon as you miss one, team's gonna kick you, so be careful. Yeah, pick strong early game heroes, strong early game items. Don't like ultra greed out for I'll win at 30-40 minutes. That's technically the other plan you could go, which is drag it out really, really late and just hope people mess up, which we kind of saw almost happen right last game where they had the lead, like same lead as this game, but Sitout kind of threw on the high ground like 3 times before they finally got it right. So you can kind of go for that. But I would say it would help you improve as a player to opt for strong early game and improve your laning stage and try to like get an early lead and go from there rather than depend on the enemy throwing on a high ground.
Yeah, I feel like in modern Dota, lanes are king. I mean, basically, if you win the lane, you're in like a really good position for the mid game.
On the board kill on the Phoenix, but Y.O.S.O is trying to live up to the playmaking. Scott has Blink, immediately down here with the Drow. But if I could fine-tune where you go, Drow kind of wants to be left alone, and the odds of them killing her are not great, especially because you guys have vision down here. So I would actually just leave Drow alone. Otherwise, you might draw attention here. They might bring a bunch of heroes, you get 1 kill, but now Drow has 4 heroes in her lane, and 4 of you come, she's just splitting her farm. So actually, if you direct your attention somewhere else, you direct the enemy's attention as well, and you direct it to the Weaver, who had a rough start. Now he's left alone. He's not being outplayed because there's no one to outplay him here. If you bring the attention to him, Drow's left alone. See, look, now they're bringing a bunch of heroes to your Drow. I think she'll just walk away because there's still no playmaker. But instead, so like, you guys have to wipe them and take this tower for this to be worth it, because you're currently all splitting a single creep wave. Yeah. Lena's out. You know, so like this is where this starts to feel weird. Weaver is catching back up despite the really bad start he had. And Drow's not accelerating despite the fact she had a really good start. I gotta swap the net worth. I always forget to do this. I don't know why.
This is what I call hugging. Like if I see 2 core heroes standing next to each other for too long, it's just so bad. You need to stop hugging people.
It's the ward sausage, but it's for core players.
Yeah.
Just the core sausage over here. Avoid the sausage party, guys. You gotta scatter.
Oh, interesting face boots on Necro. I guess against the draft should be good.
Yeah, I think.
I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, mid Necro can go a little greedier because you have more farm and levels, but I do think off-lane Necro should opt for more upfront power, which can include phase, but could include like the Greaves, which I wouldn't mind seeing from him. I guess Dark Willow or Rubik could potentially get it, but I would have been okay with Greaves rather than phase. But I like phase as a secondary, as opposed to like, I don't know, Boots of Travel or just like leaving it at brown boots.
Well, they have another blink on Radiant. It's on the
Oh, huge arena, but where's your team? Seething's here at a blink as well. Are we killing them? We got Rubik.
Two arenas. It's 2 arenas.
Stolen arena. No one
Yeah.
can see each other. Who's in here? Gonna run down this Lina. We got blinks, the stun. Oh, just off the mark. Second raise. Not quite enough mana.
The Necro is
Necro
killing him.
just to lock him down, but no actual kill. All right. Overall, a nice play from Sitout. I think he probably should have just opted for the Requiem at the edge of the arena, and that might lead to a few more kills. But even though you don't get as many kills as you'd like, you're still making the plays happen on the enemy's half of the map. Drow, if she had just been left alone, she'd have been farming there. I think she actually tried to walk into join. I don't think she actually made it in time. But like Drow, you just like you chill down here on your half of the map and you farm up. You guys all make plays as you're doing, but just don't bring the Drow. Try to go towards Weaver, but it doesn't always have to be at Weaver, and that'd be good. So far, Lina is trying to be active with her boot to travel. This is what the supports should look to enable. Every time Necro is ult is up, you guys go to smoke or try to make a play and line up the ultimates, Laguna and Necro ult. Ideally, you wouldn't have to. You get like 2 different kills with both those ults, but when you're behind, you know, beggars can't be choosers, so just get something. So right now, where's Necro ult? 30 seconds, right? So you just continue to farm like this, but the supports, you buy the smokes, you get your wards ready, and then get ready to smoke. Lina, try not to like go out and make an aggressive play right now, and then now your team has to wait for Laguna Blade, right? Get the smokes ready, get going somewhere. For example, maybe Weaver could push bottom, and you guys could smoke behind him and bait it in. They're like, oh, Weaver's alone, we go get Weaver, jump Weaver. And then you guys kill him. You would need you'd need an observer to place in the arena in case Mars is the one reacting. But besides that, you'd be good. Maybe looking to make a play. Oh, nice moves from Y.O.S.O. I see that. Phase boots, brambles dodging.
How do you feel on Dark Willow the boost choice? Like Tranquil boost against mana boost?
It kind of depends on the game. You could get Guardian Greaves on Dark Willow. I'd say if you're position 5, you're slightly more likely to do so, unless someone else is doing it. But if not, Tranquils is fine. Or sometimes you'll see it left at brown boots. You'll see really high-level players on Dark Willow push it to try to get, like, Blink Yules really fast if they're having a great game. But if you're struggling, I think it's fine to get the Tranquils first.
I need to settle something, Zach.
Okay.
Coop, who I play with, she says that on Lich, the facet that stands the ulti is the really good one.
I think it
But I
depends on the
disagree.
game. I think it depends on the game.
She swears it's like the really good one, and it goes her to like ancient one or something.
I think it can be good. I think it depends on your games. If you find enemy players are always grouping together, I like to smoke, by the way. Let's see what happens. Your Necro's here? Yes. This is where you're lacking a playmaker, so the actual play is tough, but you guys have the right heroes involved. Get this Drow! Mess her up!
Ooh.
Mess her up! Where's everyone else? Get her!
Oh.
Drop him!
Yeah.
Alright, we didn't quite get the
Oh,
Necro
yeah,
ult. Oh, big counter initiate with the arena. Deletes the Necro and the supports feared up. This time Seething had enough mana for the full spell combo. Egg over here adding a little bit more damage. This is free farm. 33 gold. We'll never financially recover.
Oh,
That was the
I
right idea.
Sorry, I was playing a game as Brood.
Mhm.
I had like 20 Fighterling, and a Weaver put like a swarm into me, and I farm like a K gold. Like, in
Yeah,
seconds.
that's free money there. Although Weaver should get the shard and then like farm spiderlings that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brood though would be an example of where I would get the. I also forget the facet, but like the one that extends the ult per kill and the frost shield. When there's a bunch of summons, you want that facet. But when they have a lot of escapes, that's where the other facet is better because like the Lich game I played just before this and like my ult never bounced because they were so good at sidestepping, which is also why the pros tend to go for that one because even though your ult does not bounce, you zone control them for a few seconds that they can't get close to the fight and you hope everyone else does the work in that time. In pub games, when people constantly clump and they're not dodging the ult very well and they're not building 4 staffs and keeping distance, that facet becomes less and less relevant because it's like they were always next to each other. I bounced 10 times every single time, so you don't even need it. But the higher up you go, the more important that facet becomes in general until they get a bunch of summons and illusions and they don't need to separate because like your ult just kills creeps. That's when you need the other facet.
How do you feel about defending this tier 2 tower here in this position, the losing position?
I'm kind of open to it because Weaver can TP in and bring this to be a 5-on-4, but Drow cannot join if you know she's not here, which she is not. So this is where you can win the number. So you see an 11k difference. Drow is 10k. So without the Drow, this is an even game, and it's 5v4, which means your number of spells is higher. This is like getting in a weird way to think about Dota, but it will be more playable than you might think with like a 10k disadvantage. So I would be open to the defend this tower, but Weaver has to be ready to come in like really quick. Like right now, like LSA on this guy, and you like all come in to like delete the guy. This is just, again, it goes back to not really having a true playmaker. It's very awkward to force this to give Weaver time to TP in, and now this tower's dead. But this would be a really good time to come in. This time they actually find SF on the retreat, so that's a kill they probably shouldn't be allowed to get, but they are going to get, and it's a very good one.
Yeah. I just feel like in most cases, if you are behind, it's more beneficial to spread out and farm, because the other team is just like clumped up and farming one wave of experience and gold. Meanwhile, you are farming like the majority of the map.
It can be, but I would say it depends on your heroes as well. So the Dire actually has several heroes who are really good at wave clear, such as Lina, Rubik, even Necro. Running in for the arena, grabs the Lina. Yeah, she's does not get the play. Terrorize comes in just a little bit too late. Time to retreat out of here. If you have really good wave clear, you can delay them, and you hope to bring slightly less heroes. So they bring 4, and you bring 3 that show, and the other heroes try to stay off the map, so you don't know if they're coming or not. That kind of delays it out, and you're winning in efficiency. 3 of you versus 4 of them. Ooh, another nice Tormentor Steel and Wisdom Rune by Sitout. So it can be okay, but if you have really bad ways to defend tower, like the wave clear, then I would agree with you. You just try to go play the rest of the map and split up and catch back up in terms of farm.
Oh, the Necro is so poor right now.
Gotta be very careful. Y.O.S.O. jump in, but doesn't actually have arena. Yeah, this is where like the Greaves can help to deal with the silence. But still okay on the Necro. This is such a bold. Oh, that courier just goes straight through them all for the energy booster. Aether Lens on the way. Blink first on Rubik, just because your team doesn't have a way to start things, would probably be the better item this game, because now you are the one who can start stuff. Aether Lens kind of helps with that, but Blink obviously has like a much larger range and is going to allow you to instantly Blink lift.
Yeah, but then again, you have the issue that they can't really connect to you as fast as you can Blink. So they still need to walk up to you.
Yeah, that can be true, but you just have to be careful about like who you grab. We'll see if it comes up here, but for example, on this tier 2, okay, not this tier 2 push, maybe in the tier 3, there are times your team will be able to connect. Like for example, if someone's standing right here, Drow, let's say, and hitting this tower, and you have teammates here, as soon as these teammates walk forward, Drow will back off. So that's why like someone from back here blinks, lifts Drow into here, then these guys all instantly connect. That's like the playmaker that is lacking here. Everyone must walk in, which means Drow can walk out as soon as she sees it happening, or like whatever heroes. That's kind of what you have to be careful to choose. You can't like Rubik up front, team back here, pick someone here. Then that's where, like you're saying, they still won't connect. But that just goes back to like choosing the right time to jump. But Aether Lens, you also still just have to walk up and hope that they don't notice that you have an Aether Lens and they think they have more time to step away than they do.
Okay.
Shards.
How do you feel about this tournament right now? Do you feel like it's a bit of a too negative of a play on the map?
I was off rambling on my own thing, so I wasn't paying attention to health bars. You don't have to fall back, but they've also finished every tier 2, and if they were low or their cooldowns were there, then it's fine to like go back, heal, get Tormentor, maybe set up for Roshan. But if you have everything, then yeah, you can kind of just continue to play the map and eventually go back for that Tormentor. In this kind of game, in like Archon games, you could argue it won't matter as much because like, okay, we gave them space on the map. But at Archon, maybe they don't notice. They don't see you back off. They're not sure where you are, so they don't make use of that like space you give them, so it can be kind of okay. But it does go both ways. And if you don't have to, I'd say on paper the correct thing is to not do it unless you have a very good shard that you're hoping to get.
Yeah, like the best play would be to go Roche right now.
Yeah, I would say.
No reason.
Yeah, I'd say you could
There's
just
no
do
reason
Roche.
not to Roche.
Looking at items. Yeah, I would just get Roche. Get Roche, use the few minutes to finish BKBs, and then you'll still have like 2-3 minutes on Roche or Aegis to go push high ground with your recently finished BKBs.
We were going for the first item Gleipnir.
Weaver?
It's been really nerfed in the last patch. I don't know if it's still worth it.
I don't know the exact build, yeah, but in general, I'd say it's like okay, but the fact that it's finishing now does show like how much he's been struggling.
Do you think that Weaver Shard is like a 15-minute purchase?
If you're not getting Gleipnir. If you have Gleipnir, you don't really need it because you pretty much one shot anyways as soon as you get a single proc. But if you're not going Gleipnir, then I would Gleipnir or Maelstrom, I would say the shard early. Like if you're doing the Deso build on Weaver, oh, so close. If you're getting the Deso build, I would do it for the farm speed. Not a Weaver, carry Weaver player though. But I did play a shitload of a support Weaver, so maybe there's some credit there. I don't know.
I also played support Weaver like 4 years ago.
All right, Sitout. Let's see your high ground attempt this time. It's even easier with Drow. She has actual ranged hero. You just stand behind Drow and let her hit things. Do not try to arena back here. Sit here. Let Drow chip this away. It can take 3 minutes. It doesn't matter. They're all here. Like, this is where Granny's Cookies. You want to have as few heroes defending as possible. So Rubik and Lena, or at least, let's start with Rubik. Rubik, defend with Fade Bolt, and you have as few heroes, whoever your wave clear heroes are, defending, and you try to have your other heroes on the map, and you have some wards down. Good. Yeah, if you can find SF, this is huge.
This is huge.
Sitout.
Oh,
you scatter too much. Excellent find.
Yeah, this is a good play. Like you see, they saw the Mars keeping bot, and they saw like the other people going back to smoke out and just find any strike. Like, this is a good play.
Yeah, and this is so when you're in this kind of situation that the Dire's in, you want wards like this, weird wards that will live and try to catch the enemy's team splitting up and immediately go to that hero, which is what they just did. And that's why on Sitout, even though you know you're ahead and you're like, oh, we should back up, deal with lanes, that's fine. You can do that. But you have to give them the respect. You can't like, I'm going to farm on their half of the map and just assume that they have no wards whatsoever and they're going to sit in the base. You have to assume they can see you and ask yourself like, do I feel comfortable being here when I know they see Mars here and he was just here so they know he TP'd and someone is clearing mid, like they know we're scattered. Do I feel like I can be here on my own, potentially in vision? maybe you did think you could, but that is the wrong read this time, and you do finally get found and killed off. But if you're gonna back, you have to all back. Like this push without the SF, that's kind of crazy. But this is sort of what, so like Necro, you don't want to come back yet. Until they are like really chipping this, you want to try to max your farm somewhere else. But don't show yourself in case like they come and kill you. Like pop in, walk away. But like you do need to like farm the map to try to start recovering this 16k gold lead. Alright, you guys went from this tower to this tower. Kind of okay.
We were TP'd
yeah,
back.
so like this is another case. You
yeah,
don't want to come back until you absolutely have to. Like you should be continuing to do this and try to force them back. That's how you got that SF kill. They felt they should come back. So you do this without getting killed. If they're missing, you don't TP home. You jungle or you hide in like a tree line and see what you see. If they continue to stay off the map, you continue being careful. But you don't want to TP home until you absolutely have to. It is risky, but you're 17k behind. You have to take risks to try to get back into this. And you see how now it's just like 5 heroes looking at 5 heroes. They have to be 5 heroes because no one can come in here. This is not their base. But this is your base. You get to TP home. So 1, if not 2 or 3 of you don't want to be here until you absolutely have to be. Unless you plan to jump her, but usually with Aegis, that's not quite the plan. Phoenix, don't be here. Be like back here. Abaddon, just be behind here as well. Just to get ready to egg her. Phoenix, you can dive so you can stay on the high ground. And now you just keep repeating. This is much better. You guys have not dove like you did in the last game. This is very good. And this is... There really is not much Granny's Cookies should be able to do about this situation, which is why you don't bring the heroes back. You just out-farm them and try to take other objectives and try to catch up in net worth until you can. Yeah, Weaver getting back out. This is where Mars needs to be careful of splitting off the map like this, because if they do have vision and they see Mars leave, this is when they might suddenly TP in and like jump the drow, and it's like 5 versus 4 while Mars is like over here. You do have to be very careful of that. Make sure your team's not like pushing while you're stepping away. So this is better now. Weaver, keep going, but try to get to the lane as quickly as you can, because jungling is not what will scare them back. It's you taking objectives and making your way to the tier 3. Blinkin, BKB by Mars. Finds 3 heroes. This is where the TPs come in, but doesn't seem like it even matters this game because there's a 20k gold lead difference. All the buybacks from the supports. Time lapse at the last second. Good terrorize, but do they have the damage to actually kill the drow? She already lost her Aegis. Stolen Glacier? I don't think I've ever seen that. Yeah, this looks to be it for Granny's Cookies. Finish Lena just before she can get in the base. One set. That's the glyph. I think you can just go for the end now. The safe play is Megas, but this is the last glyph, and you have an SF. Okay, well, I guess mid SF does take the left facet. Otherwise, I was going to say, or left town. I was going to say with that one, you could end, but... Okay, 20 seconds is a little close, so I understand playing it safe, going for the mid. This is fine. I think you could force the end if you really wanted to, but safer play is okay.
Do you know the interaction between Abaddon, Eggs, and Yule? Like, if he gets Yules, does he still heal teammate?
I think if his ult is active, I think so, but I'm not 100% sure. Raising 2 ways, 180, just because he can. Glimmer should get the Necro out. Ult on the Abaddon, that's why the Abaddon response to the Necro is pretty good. Ult on the Phoenix, just barely alive. LSA connects, but she's already forced away. Cursed Crown, everybody huddle up! Good shield. This tower is 20 health. You're gonna hang on a little longer. Can you finish the drow? She's low. They get the BKB. Arena onto 4 from the Mars. I am apparently losing FPS in this fight.
You is like, holy shit.
But with that Arena, with that combo, they're cleaned this up. I bought a new graphics card. Why am I losing so much FPS? What is happening?
I feel like it's like server side.
Maybe. Even now it says
So
I have like 60
yeah,
FPS. What is with my graphics? I'll have to look
we
into
are
that.
we are on we are on EU, so could be that too.
That should just affect ping though, not FPS, I think. I mean, I know very little about this stuff, but
Yeah.
GG's. Well played by Sitout. I think they improved their high ground push a lot from game 1. Maybe that's what they were talking about in between. But they kind of like did a little bit of like the arenas when they saw like 4 heroes, which is like that's kind of okay to do compared to the first one, which is like a lot more force, which kind of dragged that out. This time I think they learned how to push the high ground more safely, securely, and then 33 minutes, right? Which is where that last game could have gone with like similar play, I think.
Yeah, it was a very low kill game, 18-5, but they like Dire just got Granny's Cookies just got out farmed really.
Yeah, I think there's some like outlaning here.
So what advice would you give like each of these teams for their upcoming series?
I like Sitout's drafts. I think they made sense. I think in this case, we did highlight like there's a lot of pressure on the Mars. But last game, I think everything made sense. The lane combos were good. I see kind of the synergies they're going for here. I think in the future, if a team puts more pressure on them in the laning stage, this is where like this type of draft you might struggle a little bit. Picking this drow at the end where there's a lot of overlap with the SF, and then like it's all on Mars, and if Mars has a bad game, you struggle. But overall, this is like a fine draft, and I think they improved their high ground a lot into game 2. But just to make sure you like keep doing that, otherwise that is how you end up like throwing the early games. And then where you make plays, I highlighted like they went for plays around Drow a couple times, and then like when SF got caught off because they like backed, but they didn't all back. You got to be careful of those. Kind of direct where your plays go. This game it worked out because you're just like pretty far ahead of Granny's Cookies, but in other games where other teams react to that, that's where you'll get punished. Granny's Cookies, I think the draft is weaker. Like I'm not even worried as much about the rest of the game, just because the draft and the laning stage sets them back, and it's just hard from there. And now that's not as easy to improve on, since most Dota players never really have to think about drafting for themselves because of like the way solo queue works. Um, but adjusting the draft to give yourself some of the lanes that are better, as well as a cohesive game plan. I mentioned not having a playmaker this time made it very hard. Like once you actually fall behind, there's no way to come back. There's no we will get pickoffs around like level 6. Like it just doesn't exist in this game. So giving yourself some way to do that kind of stuff, assuming if your only game plan is like we win our lanes and we play this way, that never happens in team games. Like give yourself contingency plans so that when your lanes struggle, like you can still do things. And if you look at these heroes, it's like, well, what if Necro's having a bad game? Like, how do we get kills? If Lena's having a bad game, how do we get kills? You don't have anyone who can like do that. So I would start with that, and then just like that should give you more options to do something once you actually fall behind.
Yeah, the issue with drafting at this rank, I'd say, is it also kind of depends on the players themselves, because they're not like pro players, or they're not like high
Mm-hmm.
ranked players. They don't have like a 10-year like a career, and they like played every single hero. So it's kind of like maybe have a limited pool of heroes that play in certain roles.
Definitely.
I mean, I have no idea if ThymeTwister plays any like playmaking mid,
Mm-hmm.
so it could be something like that they could look into, because I think like a few of these players on the Cleese cookies are actually pretty new players. I think Spineapple has maybe 300 games. I
That's
think
very impressive, actually, for such a
yeah,
few amount of games.
Spineapple is actually, I think, Herald 4 in his rank.
Damn.
Yeah, and I think David has joined the Discord maybe like a year ago or something, maybe a bit more. He was playing LOL before, but he switched to Dota, and I think he also has like maybe 400 games. So it's like I think everything is like a learning curve, and you just like need to experience certain heroes to see if they, I guess, suit your playstyle.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. I actually love drafting and like all this stuff, but I don't do too much content on it because like the relative amount of people who actually get to use it is small. But because of that, I think, and like it's not just me. I think a lot of content creators are on that page, and we struggle with content creators anyway. So it's not like we even have that many. But I do think that is something that's like very noticeable for these kind of like community stuff. Is that between like being new players, having like the whole mixed ranks, but then even with mixed ranks, new players, and all that stuff, there are ways to draft to get yourself an easier game, but you don't know what you don't know, so it can be like very hard to do that. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's in those situations. Feel free to like message me, like streams, Discord, whatever. Happy to help out with this stuff, to some degree at least. Can't like be there for like every single draft, but I can like provide some ideas on it because yeah, especially casting. Like I watch a lot of drafts and I know a lot of this stuff. And yeah, we highlighted some here, like the playmakers, right? Until you like do it yourself, you don't really think that far on it. But you'll find even with the like, we could do this exact same teams without like practicing anything, but we give them different drafts. There's certainly drafts that Granny's Cookies would end up ahead versus Team Sitout just because like it's easier to play, you know. So slowly learning that and giving yourself games that fit your ranks and your experience, but also like are just easy enough to do, can make this kind of stuff a lot better. So don't get dissuaded if you like have a rough game versus like another team. It can be very different from game to game.
I mean, what do you think are some like low floor playmaking heroes that you could play mid or off lane, I guess? Like some beginner start or like beginner heroes.
Okay, so here would be my like off the cuff, so I haven't fully thought this out recently. But here's what I would offer.
Who's that? Thank you.
For your first pick,
Newest
Camabus, hey,
Nugod
thank
tier
you.
coach.
Newest NA
ZQuixotix.
tier, yeah, let's go. Thank you. Your pawn died in Rimworld, by the way. I'm sorry, I couldn't save you. For your first picks, I don't think this fully matters. First pick for second pick. I don't think the exact nuance in this matters right now. But for your first picks, which are going to be revealed and in theory countered the most by everyone else's picks, you want that to be relatively generic. A hero that does what it does, whatever the game. So like a support like Clockwork, he will do Clockwork things. There are games that they're going to pick a lot of escapes and it becomes more annoying, but like ultimately, what is the hardest counter to Clockwork? Like, can you not still Rocket Flare? Can you not still hook shot to a BKB target? Like, you will do things. You could do core heroes as well. Something like Pango. We used to see Pango all the time. Because, like, yes, on paper, there are counters, but as you become a good enough Pango player, it's like, what really is? I might have a rough time, but I hit level 6, and I roll, and I get kills. I build these items, and I do my thing, right? There are different heroes depending on the meta, or the players. If you feel really good about, hey, I play this hero, I play Mars, and I know Mars is not maybe the greatest in the meta or whatever, but like I'm a really good Mars player, then that's your stable pick that you pick early and you don't care that it gets countered. It's going to do what it's going to do. Centaur is another example. Carries like Luna, right, who are very stable. Like what is the counter to Luna? She does Luna things. There's a bunch of different heroes you could highlight. Pick that for your first one. Second, third, fourth picks, whatever your draft plan, like go into it. We're going to play 4 Protect 1. We're going to play Auras, try to win by 20 minutes. We're going to drag this out late. Here's our game-winning carry. We need to make space, right? Whatever your draft is, your next couple picks should go towards that, as well as have decent lane synergies. So like if you picked Mars, you want a range damage dealing 4 support most likely to go with the Mars. Okay, because it's off lane, you could pick a melee hero and then do like creep dragging, stuff like that. I don't know how comfortable you feel with that. On paper, you could, but give yourself a good lane synergy. Second priority that is not as important is to react to the enemy. So it's like, oh, this is a good pairing with Mars, but this hero would be better versus like the Faceless Void carry. You don't want to worry too much about countering the enemy team at the amateur level. You want to make sure your own draft makes sense more than that. So if you have a couple heroes, like I'm comfortable with these 3 heroes that all work well with Mars, and one of them is best versus their carry, then you can do that. But if you're limited on hero pool, just go like, I play Hoodwink. I like Hoodwink. It's not the best hero, but it works with Mars, and I do it, then just do it. Then your final picks are like trying to get like your best player, probably. Your best player should either play the stable pick because they can't be countered and they will do well no matter what, or you give them the final picks towards the end of the draft that's like, you're not the best player, but this is the god anti-mage game, so you can't screw this up. This is we've set you up. It's so good. Like that's kind of what you want to go for. Your best or your worst player having the best matchup at the end, and it's up to you on the teams. I would say, I know I'm rambling a lot. There's a lot, but in my experience for this kind of stuff, if your best player is mid, that tends to be number one, like best case scenario for you, because they will handle the one-on-one on their own, and then you pick supports to enable them. Like, oh, you're going to be a playmaker mid, you're going to dominate, then we'll go with you. Oh, you play cheese shit like Arc Warden, then don't pick a hard carry. Pick a carry who's like basic, and then stack for your mid player and let them take over. Like, if your best player's mid, that's the easiest to plan around.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I'm trying to think
But yeah.
about everything I just rambled off.
They will most likely like watch this back, and I mean, I think because it's you, like a lot of people will watch this, even though
I
they
don't know
have
about that.
maybe played, they maybe played in this time slot.
If
But
you're
yeah,
playing in this and you want draft ideas, you guys can message me. I'll help out a little bit. Get a my advice is like, make a spreadsheet, hero positions 1 through 5, put all your best heroes like on that list, and from there you can make drafts. You don't need to get me, but if you want to ask me or ask other people, then like I would get that together and be like, of these heroes, what are some good drafts, right? And then someone can help fill that out.
yeah. Well, thank you, Zach, for your time tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
Um,
Happy. It was fun.
I'm pretty sure like a lot of people will have learned something from this. I think I have.
I'm
Um,
glad.
we will, I think, try to maybe find another series for you.
Yeah,
You
that'd be
said you're
fun.
free on the 23rd and 24th, right?
Um, I'll message you on this. My schedule is ever changing, but for now, those are
Okay.
still good. So
Okay, yeah.
we can try to do another series sometimes.
Yeah. I
Um,
will, yeah. I will hunt a game down, or I will bully someone off a game.
no, don't bully anyone off. Don't bully anyone off.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think like this is a good because we had people cast these games before. I think we had Purge. I think we had Lizard. I think we had Fogged, Slacks. Maybe I don't know. It's just like it's good to hear from a immortal, I guess, perspective, or like a pro analyst, pro caster perspective to
Don't know
see on
about
these things.
that.
It's just like I really believe that a lot of these people learn from these games. I know I did. Like in these 2 years I've played, like in the first GTI I played, I just basically focused on laning, and that's about it. In the second one, I focused more on like macro plays, like when to play certain objectives and like not to overextend. In the third one, I'm not playing, but someone else has to win,
Now
I guess.
you're
But yeah,
teaching. Now you're sharing from the
yeah.
caster side. Now you're trying to raise a team to win.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of like pick up like because I do consume a lot of Dota content. Subscribe to Zach, by the way, if you are not already.
Nice, nice.
Wait, let me exclamation mark YouTube in chat. Okay, there it is.
You guys use that command more than I do. I'm so bad at doing my own self plugs.
But yeah, thank you again. We will try to maybe arrange another game, depending of your actual casting of your real life, I guess, casting.
These are more fun.
But
These
yeah.
are more fun. Depends on the series, but yeah, these
Th-
are fun to
they're
do.
more, yeah, they're more like chaotic, and you could see a first pick necro, you could see a Walker, like you never fucking know.
Yeah. That's the fun stuff about community stuff, which keeps community Dota alive, which is important.
If I could, can you share links in chat, Zach?
I can share them. Yeah. Do you want to send them to me
Could,
and I can?
yeah. Can I send you a link? Let me just
Sure. Is anyone, by the
give
way,
me.
is anyone still casting? Because I will probably end the stream in a moment. So is anyone still going? We can
Maybe
raid into
I
someone.
need to check. Let me just find our archive channel. If you could, because yeah. Let me give me a second. I'm really slow.
It's okay. It's okay. Thanks
Okay,
for
yeah.
watching, guys. I know this is different from the usual stuff we do, but I think
Yeah,
it's fun.
on that link, there will be like VODs of other GTI games. There's a playlist for even the previous Gun Internationals you want to watch.
Oh,
But
guys, you can
yeah,
go see
if you want
NPR win them twice.
to back to back on different teams. Uh, but yeah, let me check if someone is casting still right now. I believe 2 games are still going on.
Yo, pick your favorite. we can
Oh,
only
well,
go to one.
yeah. Let me see which game is less advanced. Um, Let me see.
Yeah, Cannabis. It
Okay,
was brutal. We had a huge raid. I think we lost like
Wurzag.
half the colony. We have 5 people still alive. We'll try to save it.
Okay, this game is more closer. I'll send you the name on Discord.
Sounds good.
Yeah, there it is. It's in 35 minutes right now. Only 4K lead.
Oh, nice. That's very close. Okay. I will start that up. All right, guys. If you want to keep watching this stuff, that's what we're gonna raid to. Otherwise, I will see you probably tomorrow. We'll do some games and probably do replays as well. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I should be doing that. So, yeah, tomorrow another stream. That's it. That's all I got. NPR, thanks for joining. This was fun. Thanks for reaching
No,
out for this.
thank you.
No worries. All right. Bye, everybody. Go continue.